Hi everyone, I'm properly audible again, right? All right. Thank you so much. That was a wonderful introduction, and I love to be a part of this community. Well, this is the first time I'm interacting as a speaker to the international audience. So, hey everyone, I'm from India. My name is Kushi Trivedi, and I'll be telling you all about Git and GitHub in the most beginner way. So, you don't have to be okay. Well, I'll just be a kind of unprofessional here in order to relate with you, in order to give you some references about how I was in my first and second year and everything. But before we start, I would love to thank both of the universities that have collaborated for this event and the lovely organizers. Thank you for the introduction, Eliza. I think I spoke your name right. Yeah, and yes, I'm very, very excited. So, we will be doing with the hands on thing, but before that, we will start with, understanding what exactly Git and GitHub is. Well, that is not same, first of all, and Git is not a part of GitHub. They are independently two other things, all right? So, I am just, sharing my screen. Just give me a sec. I hope that's visible. Yeah, that is. If anyone is having any doubt, please use the chat section or yeah, please the organizers please communicate anything that they would like to ask me because I'm on this screen now. All right, so we're finally presenting. Yes, this is the slide. In case you want the slide deck, I will be very very happy to share this. So yes, become a Git ninja. Now, welcome from my part. All right. So I'm very glad that the University of Mannheim and Southeast European University have collaborated for this. And yes, there we go. Now, what's the plan? So this is kind of 1 hour, more than 1 hour it will take, but the plan is basically divided into 6 parts. All right, the first three is installing Git, all right, creating a GitHub account, introduction to Git and GitHub. I'll tell you what exactly they mean. And the next three is the fourth one is understanding Git commands. Make your very first PR. Now, what's PR? I'll be telling you. It's called pull request, all right, and then future scope. So I've divided the entire plan into these six things. Yes, and I get to introduce you myself as well. I was pretty well introduced. And about GDSC, yes, I used to be the GDSC lead last year. So we have a 1 year tenure of being the lead of our campus. So I was basically the founder of my university GDSC. So I was the first GDSC lead, and I am also a community person who's involved in Microsoft Learn community. So I am at the gold ambassador level. And yes, I'm also a hackathon mentor. In April, I'll be going for another hackathon to mentor. If you know MLH hackathon, anyone knows Major League Hacking. It's an amazing worldwide hackathon series that they conduct, and it's an amazing thing. If you would like to know more about community stuff, hackathons, how do we make projects, how do we build websites or something, you can contact me. But yes, for now, yes, we are finally starting. So yeah, drum rolls. I don't have any sound, but yes, we're finally starting. And yes, installing Git. Now, you all must have been shared, the link, a video link, a 3 minute something video link of how to install Git application in your local system. So this is how we do. To any one of you who's joining from the laptops or the PC, you can scan this QR code. Meanwhile, just give me a second. I can drop the link here in the, yeah. This is the official link I dropped in the chat. Um From here, you can download Git. and I expect you all to download Git right now, uh, because we will be doing some hands-on thing. So I will be explaining you how do we do it. So for Windows, I personally have a Windows laptop. I do not have a Mac or a Linux. So in Windows operating system, these are the steps. You just go to the link. Let me just share. Just a minute. All right, I'll better share my entire screen. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So yes, we download this application from here. So we go in here and then put down the link. This is the official website where we have, you know, for Mac, for Linux, for Windows. I hope you can see the download option, right? This is the official website of Git. I'll tell you what Git is. Go to downloads, and there you have the three options. Now for Windows, you just click in here. Well, I already have Git installed in my laptop. However, I will tell you it's just one click thing. Okay, click here to download. I will be doing, so I have a 64-bit Windows setup. You can search in, you can go to the start bar and go to the properties about, and there you can find which if it's a 32-bit system or a 64-bit system. So you need to download it in that way. I i actually have a 64-bit, so I will just click in here. Just go for standalone installer, don't go for the portable one. And there we click. I clicked in here, and yes, you can see it starts to download, right? This is it. This is it. You just go to the link I dropped in the chat section. You go to the downloads. For Windows, you download in here. And even for Mac, yeah, even for Mac, we go there. Okay, I'll come in here. But for Mac, we do not have a download option. Okay, so here, this is the official documentation. You actually have Brew. I don't know what it is. I don't have a Mac either. Homebrew is another software which helps in installing Git in your local system for any Mac users for Apple products. Okay, so now I have Git installed. I'll open it. I'll click on the downloaded thing. So I will give the permission of yes. And what I need to do is just go on next, next, next. Click on all the check boxes, like this one. Yeah, just click next, 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 and then click install. That's it. For all the Windows users, all you need to do is go on the link. I'm repeating again. I just dropped the link in the chat section. You go there and you click on download. The download will show you three options. Are you a Windows operating system user or a Mac or a Linux? So you're just gonna type in for Windows, and then you just download it, you open it, and then do next, 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 everything next, and then install. So I already have installed, otherwise I would have done install. All right. So yeah, I'll exit the setup for now because I already have, and this is how you install it, and it's done. All right, it's done. You don't have to go into any settings or any command line, nothing. Installing Git is just two-step thing. You just download it and then install. I hope that's going right. In case you're not following it, please use the chat section. This is going to be very effective, and I pretty much hope. All right, so the organizers here have been planning this event since weeks now, and I have been in contact with the organizers since months. And the organizers have, put up a lot of effort to bring up such a huge event, giving a whole workshop on how to use Git and GitHub to make you use it. So just make the best time, all right, of this event. um, make the best use of their efforts. And in case you have any doubts, please don't be shy, please never be shy, and ask any doubt, even if you want to know the spelling of GitHub. That's correct. Okay, bad joke, but I was just relating to the analogy. Anyway, so all right, moving on for Mac OS for Apple products. I don't have a laptop which has a Mac operating system. However, these are the steps. So we basically go to the same link I dropped, the same link for all the operating systems. All right, just the difference is you go on download, and but for Mac, it shows the steps. The first step is you open the terminal, and click on you basically copy this. I'll just go in here and I'll paste this. So you just open, just a sec. Okay, so you must be knowing how to open the terminal, right? So by opening the terminal, you first have to install Homebrew. Homebrew is basically a software with which you will be able to install Git. All right. So there's no other. There's just a three-step thing. You open the terminal. In Windows, we have CMD command, right? Command prompt. The similar way, this is how the CMD looks. This is the command prompt of Windows, right? We have the same, but for Mac, we call it terminal. We don't call it command prompt there. So go on terminal and paste this link. It's not a link, I mean, it's a command. It's a command. And after you give this command, it will be executing some pretty long lines about yes, it's been installed successfully and stuff. But just copy paste this link as it is. All right. Now, after you do this command, Homebrew will be installed. And now the second command that you need to give on the same terminal, don't close the terminal, you need to do brew install git. So I'll here, you can paste it again, brew install git. I hope I put that correct. Yes. So this is the second command. This is the second command. And after you enter the command, now verify installation. You need to verify. So this is an optional step again. The third step is optional. With the second step, you will install Git successfully. But in case you need to check if Git is installed or not, what will you do is just a sec again, Git version. It's even in the official documentation. um yeah, you need to install Homebrew because it's not already installed, right? So Git version. All right, Suraj is saying he has installed Git. I'm really glad. Can you all just comment down how many of you have already installed? I can get a follow up from there. Okay, meanwhile, I am assuming that none of you have a Linux right now at your personal computers. In case you have, all right, done. Yeah, I'm glad. So I think it's going well. So I won't be waiting much because we have a lot to cover. And now GitHub. So yeah, let me bring it to the full screen. Now, what exactly is GitHub? So yes, this is the entire QR code that we have, and https github.com. Just go in there, and GitHub is based. Okay, I'll explain you again. But just go to GitHub, and it's the same as how we go and log in to Instagram. That's it. It's the exact same thing. how you do it? You do it by your phone number or your email ID, right? So in GitHub you do the same way. So I'll open the incognito tab, just a sec, and I'll just put GitHub. So well, I already have an ID logged in. Let me just log out. All right. Okay, I did not sign out. Yes. So this is, I hope it could be seen. Yeah. So this is the official website of GitHub. What do we do it? How do we operate GitHub? I'll tell you everything. But yes, this is the official website. You can surf it. It's a very cool website. All right. And what you need to do is, in case you're already logged in, so there you go. If you're new to GitHub, I'll just go and create an account. And this is how GitHub welcomes you. Enter your email. So, well, I already have my email. However, I'll just enter it and check continue. Email is invalid or already taken. So, yeah, it wouldn't allow me. So, now that I've got my own email account already logged in, I'll just type in and my password, and there we go. I just got into GitHub. Now this ID is completely new, by the way. This is my fresh ID. I just use it for the demos. So this is your brand new GitHub account. Whenever you will come up to GitHub, all right. Oh, I forgot to give you the link of GitHub. Well, it was just on the screen, but again, all right. So here's the link. This is the official link of GitHub. And there you go. This is the landing page. Okay. So coming back to the presentation. And what is this? So this GIF that you see is called an octocat. It's half octopus, half cat, and this is the official symbol of GitHub. So GitHub comes up with really fun graphics and some really fun characters. And I also have a GitHub plushie and lots of GitHub stickers, and I'll show you at the end. So yeah, let's come up to actually understanding now what's Git and GitHub. All right, so this is again another start. Till now, we were just installing and getting an introduction about what the interface looks like. Well, this is Git. This is the official logo. Now, Git is a distributed version control system. This is the official, definition, and it is used for tracking changes in the source code during software development. All right, so now here in the session, I expect that every one of you, all the attendees and everyone who's present in this meeting is a developer. All right, I'm not going into you're into designing or you're into something else, you're into DevOps or something. I'm just assuming that everyone here does a little bit of coding, right? A little bit of yes, know-hows of how we write a code, any language. I just don't care, but I just expect how a developer ecosystem exists. So we basically I have a company, or consider Microsoft. Let's take a very well known example. So, Microsoft is a company which has its own products, but it's a software company, right? So, consider a software company who makes softwares. All right, if I'm using a software company, I'm having my own software company. I want to build it. So the first thing I will do is make its own official website, right? So I will basically hire a team, okay, a team of designers, a team of product managers who will be handling everything, the project, everything, and the front end designers, the back end designers, a DevOps engineer, and everything. So consider I have a team. Now this team will work together, all together, to make the website. It doesn't happen that the front end person is working first and the back end is working second. After this happens, then it moves to the next step. No, every person is working hand in hand. Now, when too many people work hand in hand in one project, it could be a huge tension, because by conventional methods, if we build any project in the college level, state level, so we basically have it a very easy way in hackathons. But it doesn't happen in the corporate world, in the companies. So we basically have to simultaneously work. In fact, we have so many company headquarters in every country, every country's each office or each city's office. So we have so many teams working on maybe the same project from all over the world. So how do we manage the conflict issues? Not only any human conflict, I'm here talking about the development conflict, the development of the every software that we make. So we basically track the changes. So I'm very sure all of you might have used Google Doc, right? Google Doc, it's a very common, very vibrant platform for making documentation, for collaborating, for sharing links, for anything. We have Google Doc, Google Sheets, everything. Now consider the example of Google Doc. Now consider, we all of us are kind of making a documentation, all right? Or okay, let's take an example. We're making an essay, all right? All of us are working on a same essay. So for example, I'm dealing with the introduction part, and someone else is dealing with the main part, and someone else is dealing with the examples, real life examples. The person has to note down every real life examples, and the fourth person maybe is focused on how do we end the essay in a correct way. The fifth person will just check out the grammatical errors. So we have our team distributed. Now while working on the Google Doc, just consider, in my essay, someone else wrote something else, which he had to write in his own essay. Now, there is a conflict that in my page, in my paragraph, someone else wrote something else, right? Which is not desirable for me. Now, how will I know? Well, Google Doc actually tells this person made this change in here at this time and this date. With time and date, Google Doc actually tells which person made which change, right? And where was the change made, right? Was it an addition of some words? Was it a paragraph deletion or something, right? So this exact work is done by Git for software developers. That's it. It's that simple. It controls everything: when, where, who, you know, what. So basically, it answers who made the changes, where was the changes made, and when was the changes done. All right, and yeah, these I don't remember the fourth one, but yes, that's how it goes. So Git is distributed version control system. Now, what are these four words? Distributed version control system. All right. So not only tracking the change and determining which change was done when, Git is also responsible for determining the versions. Now consider I'm making a website. Again, a website. Well, I'm a web developer, so I'll give you an example of websites more often, okay? So, okay, consider I'm making an app, all right? So, I'm making an app and I want to add a chatbot feature. I want my app to have a chatbot. Now, I worked with my team, all right? We all made a chatbot. Now when the app has got the changes, the changes are live on the app and everyone could see it, I really did not feel it's working. I just want to delete it. I want to go to the back version. I no longer want this because it's not giving me the revenue, or it's not looking good, or it's not working. Any excuse, any not an excuse but issue, any issue, but I just don't want the chatbot. I want to shift to the previous version. Now Git also does this. Not only it is kind of a Google Doc for developers, but it's also a version control system. A version control system that actually defines that which version was when, So if I want to to shift to the previous version, I can with just a click. With just a click, I can shift to the previous version. Just like you do an undo and a redo button, we also have a redo button and an undo button. Okay, so and why is distributed here? What does distributed mean? Distributed means distributed basically means that all the team members are tracked. Okay, everyone is under the eyes of Git. So Git is, yes, now you can finally understand, I hope. Git is a distributed version control system used for tracking changes in the source code. Source code is basically actually the code that is functional and which is live right now. Okay, during the software development, it allows multiple developers to work on the same project and track every change together, right? And why is it used for? I told you already: app development, cloud computing, bug reporting. If I want to report a bug, so bug is any issue in the software that we make. For example, I'm making a Chrome extension, and for example, I'm having an issue. The issue is whenever I click on it, it doesn't start, for example. Just an example. So this is called a bug. Any issue in your software is called a bug. So its features. So the first feature, as I told already, track the revision history. So who made the change? When was the change made? What was the change? Did I delete something? Did I add something or anything? And where was the change made? In the entire code, was it made in the first line, second line, 420th line, 780th line, which paragraph? Everything, everything. Store the source code. So Git stores the version, so why wouldn't it store the source code? Of course. Stores each version created, as discussed. Merge any code changes. So I'll tell you what merge means. Merge is another term that we use. So, as I told, everything has a new terminology for it, right? So, developers have its own terminology. So, merge means, as per the name suggests, merge means if you made a code and I want to add your code to the actual source code, I will merge it. This is basically, just understand it in a very layman term. If you wrote a code, all right, and I want your part to be merged in the original code, so I will basically merge it. It's the term that we use. So you know uh, assembling your code into the main code or merging your code is the same thing. Yeah. Revert to previous code versions if needed, anytime. And if maybe I reverted back and I want to shift again, I can do it multiple times. All right. Stores full development history locally. Yeah, full development history locally. So Git is basically okay. So we all installed Git and not GitHub, right? Why? Because Git is functional in your local machine. Now whenever in the session or whenever after this session you hear local machine, this word local machine, this only means your laptop, this only means your personal computer, right? Just these are some developer terminologies that we use. If you're new to this, you will adapt with it being in the ecosystem. But why can't we speak a very simple language? I don't know, because we are developers and we have to learn this language in order to be accepted in the developer ecosystem, you can say. I don't have an answer to everything. Well, Wes, I can explain this one better. So, version control without Git. Okay, so these are the two diagrams. Now, have a close look on it. The first one is how a version control actually acts when we do not use Git. Consider you did not install Git in your local system. Now, whenever I am making an app, I made the first version of my app. Now, I want to add a chatbot. I added a chatbot. So, this is the second version of my app. I shifted to version 2. Now, I simply wanted that I should also add some filters to my app. So I shift to version 3. Now, if I do not use Git, I do not use Git commands, and I simply add it to the code that I'm writing, I'm making the changes in the same file. What will happen is I won't be able to shift to the same version with one click. I have to delete the entire thing. All right. Another thing that you can do is copy paste the file that you're working on and work on its copy and not the original file. So you have a copy of it the previously. So this is what you can do. But when you go into making big softwares that actually rules the world, like Microsoft and Google are doing, so it doesn't work. Consider how many developers are working for them, and if every one of them make two copies of each version and add another version to it and do the same every day, how many data would it accumulate, which literally has no sense of storing? It's just a clutter, it's not a data. So we actually use Git in order to shift back or again front in the version. So the second diagram tells you the importance of Git, that version control, whenever we use Git, with the help of Git, how easily can we, with a one click, with some very very basic commands, it will be tough for you to learn these commands. You do not have to learn. You can simply have Google. You already have Google for this, so you do not have to learn the commands, but you need to understand the commands, what this command does. All right, so that you actually know which command you have to use when. You do not have to learn them, but you need to understand why do we use this one and not this one, why are they different and everything. So yes, version control, we can shift to any version anytime. Now, how does this work? This might look extremely complicated to you. I know, because it was for me as well. And I used to be very, very sad whenever it was never getting in my head what is Git. I know it's very tough for you to understand for all the beginners out there, but I swear this is giving you some exposure about what exactly happens. This is just a very, very beginning. I'm trying my level best to explain you the, you know, but we'll be coming up telling you every analogy, every difference in the future, in the upcoming slides. I mean, not future, but yeah. Okay, so how does this work? So consider we have three areas, okay, three stages. Now, repository. We have to, okay, this is the diagram, and we do not have to read the diagram from above. First, read the diagram from below. All right. The the lowermost thing is repository. The lowest block that we have is repository. So, what exactly is repository? Repository means project. Just consider your project file. For example, you made a folder in your computer, you added an HTML file, you added a CSS file, you added a JavaScript file. Okay, let's keep it to just HTML. Okay, so you have that file in which you have your HTML code, and it is stored in a folder. All right, that folder, when you work in Git and GitHub, you call it a repository. Just consider this. You don't go into what other things are there. Just consider, when you're working on a project, it's called a repository. All right, now we have repository, we have a staging area, and then we have a working directory. So now read this entire thing from above. It's time for you to read from above to below. Now, the first block that we have is working directory. Working directory is nothing but that stage when you actually write your code. When you start writing your code from the very first line and you're working on your code, we basically called it working directory. That means you're working on a code. It's a complex term, but it only means the process that you're writing your code. So the first process is whenever you write your code, from the very first line, from the very first semicolon that you put, You're working on your code. Okay, you're writing a code. Fine. Then after I'm done writing my code, I want to make this live. I want to, put this live. So what I do is I put git add. Now git add is a command which we use to, for example, in the Word document, we do control S for saving it. Here we do git add. So git add is basically a control S. All right. Whenever we do a control S in git, that is, whenever we git add, it actually goes from the staging area. Now, it doesn't save automatically, just like we do in Word. Word document saves it whenever we do control S. But in Git, we have another process in between saving and actually working. Now, whenever you do control S, I mean git add, you basically shift it to another process. Now, this process is you have another chance. Okay, so whenever you do git add, it means you are saving it, but this gives you another chance. Are you ready to commit with your changes? You need to commit. All right, with git commit, we basically mean commit. Are you ready to save the changes? Are you actually ready to save the changes? It will ask you again and again. So not again and again, but yes, just to make you understand. So I'm working on my file. I'm explaining that again. I'm working on my file. I started writing my code from the first line, and I'm writing my code, and I finally want to save it. So rather than control S, I will do git add. All right. Now after git add, I have to git commit. All right. It doesn't save after git add. We have to do git commit. And after git commit, it will be saved. All right. It's a two-step thing. In Word document, we just do control S and it saves. But here we do git add and then git commit, so that we do a double verification check. Just like in the Google account, we actually have an OTP system on the phone, right? So this is how we do in here as well. It does a double verification that you want to save your code, you want to push your code. Okay, I'll come to what push and pull is, but again, so yes, this is how Git looks like. You see this picture? This is exactly how Git looks like. I'll show you. Just give me a sec. So Git is this. This is Git bash. This is Git. I was explaining you. And you all must be thinking, like, what's going on? Why are we learning so much into something that looks this way? It actually has a point, because we have to use it in the form of commands, not by clicking and selecting or something. We use git by commands. So how do we use it again? By using it, that means git commands. What commands? I just now told you git add, git commit. So we have these all commands now. These are not the only commands, but yes, we have git clone, git add file, git commit, git init, git status, git pull, git merge, git push, again git fetch, and um okay, again a git branch, and then you give the branch name, git config. We have pretty much, but I am remembering it because I use it very often. I did not learn any of these git commands. No need to learn, just don't stress yourself. Okay, so let's see how this works. You need to scan this QR code. Meanwhile, this is an AutoCAD character that we have. So this is the official. The designers of GitHub are really doing some pretty good stuff with designing the characters. And this GIF actually tells, the vibrancy of GitHub. GitHub characters. It's an AutoCAD. It's a cat and also an octopus. Okay, so I'll just share this. This is again an official documentation. You just go to Google, Git cheat sheet, and there you go. By GitHub Education, you get this. Thank you, Shivam. Thank you. I just saw the chat section. Okay, so this is the GitHub cheat sheet, and it tells you each and every command. I told you not to worry, don't learn any command, just know what each command does. That's it. It's that simple. You don't need to learn. You're not no more in school. You are now independent for taking your own, commands. So I don't want to learn this. Fine, don't learn it. No one's after you. Okay, so it starts. Let me just explain in a very short thing. Um, this is the cheat sheet. It's a two-page cheat sheet, and you barely will use the first one, the first page. So, okay, the installation, it tells you for Windows go here, for Mac go here, for Linux go here, for all platform. Okay, now we already did this. All right, we already did this. Just in case you joined late or you missed it, we'll have the recording as announced. So, yep, the setup, we use git config global user.name. Now I'm very excited to show you how this works, but firstly I'll explain you. Set a name that is identifiable for credit. Okay, so just give me a sec. Git bash. I'm opening git bash. So yeah, I'll put it here. I'll move the screen as per how you could be able to see. Now under setup we have git config. I'll just copy. Consider I don't know anything. Okay, so it's git config. We have a double minus sign or a dash we can call global user dot name. Now what I need to do is double quotes. Okay, and now first name. My name is Khushi, and then Trivedi, and then close the bracket, close the double quotes, and I exactly copied this. Git config, exactly what's written in this PDF. I'm copying exactly this, but instead of first name and last name, of course, my name is not first name. So I'll write my own name. You write your own name in case you're doing it along. I'll be very happy if you're doing it along. Um, and this is how you go, and then enter. Put an enter. Nothing happened. Well, why will anything happen? Because I am actually just telling my name is Khushi. Hey Git, my name is Khushi Trivedi. All I did is telling Git my name. Why am I telling Git my name? It's already in my laptop. Why can't it just track it? No, we need to tell it because any change that I will make will come with this name, Khushi Trivedi. Just in case I wrote any other name, any changes I make from this laptop will be from that name. So I'm just telling this laptop belongs to this person. Now I will also tell what's my email. So I'm just typing in this one, git config dash dash global user dot email, and I will use the same email that I used for signing up at GitHub. I used another email, but I will use the same email. This is my email. This is my name. Oh my god. Okay, so there was a typo error. Yeah, I see. This is a typo error. Why am I getting so big thing? Because it shows error unknown global. I don't know the spelling of global, so it's giving me this. So okay, another try. I can give another try. Git config dash dash global. Okay, right. User dot email. Email spelling correct. Then so you need to try typing sometimes really slow because you can exchange the words just like I did right now. Correct? So no error, but no output as well. Every time it doesn't give an output. Now I will just okay. So this the third one, git config global color, is just to change the color. Git is in green and purple. If I want to change the colors, I can change the colors, but I personally don't like to do it right now because we have much more things to explore. So yeah, that's it. Now, to set up Git init, I will use this. Okay, so I'll take you to my GitHub account. So this is my existing GitHub account. Yeah, that's me. And well, you must be thinking we were talking about Git all the time right now. Why am I switching to GitHub? Okay, so just to tell you that I use this email. Just a sec. Okay, so yeah, I use this email, and I want to go to home and consider. Okay, consider this is my friend, and I want to have one of. Okay, so he made. Okay, so he made a tic tac toe. All right, I'll go to this repository just in case I want to download this repository through Git. I'm not shifting from the topic. No, don't get me wrong. What I'm doing is telling you how do we set up. Now, these are the commands. Git init. We enter. This means we initialize that we are starting a new repository. Now in GitHub we can download, but instead of downloading, we developers need a very hardcore huge thing to do. So we basically git clone, all right, and instead of control V, we manually have to right click and paste it, and now we click enter. So it's saying cloning and it will clone it. So here is what I downloaded. No, user, and then okay, so tic tac toe. This is the project that I downloaded. It has been downloaded here. Can you see this? This is, yeah, a C++ file. I wouldn't open it because it will be again more complicated. I have to set up the IDE for this. Okay, what's IDE? I'll tell you exactly everything, but I just want to tell you I wanted to download a project from GitHub.
I'm sorry, there was a question in the chat. Danielle wrote, repeat the git clone thing again, please.
Okay, yeah, sure. Thank you. Um, yeah, I'll just repeat it. So, okay, so just don't go into what did I do right now. I'll explain it again. Just give it some time. What I want you to notice right now is I'll close this Git. I'll just close this right now. Okay. I just want to explain you how do we set up and initialize. That's it. I don't want you to know what is GitHub right now. How do we do it? How do we go to any repository? Just don't go into any of those nitty gritties. Consider, uh, consider I am given a project link, all right, and I want to download the project from that link, that GitHub link, all right. What I'll do is go on Git. I'll initialize it because it says Git init. I don't know anything. I'm reading everything from the PDF. All right. I personally don't know anything. Please believe me. Now I do an enter. All right. So what did it say? Reinitialized existing Git repository. All right. Because I downloaded it right now. Let me just delete it. Let me just delete this. Okay, I deleted it. All right, there's no tic tac toe. We cannot find anything. Yeah. Now we just go to our terminal again. This is, we call it terminal. You can call it a terminal, a nickname. Now you do git clone, and now instead of copy paste, you have to right click and paste. Close the this, and then it's cloning. Cloning means downloading. I'll just check again if I have downloaded a tic tac toe. I'll enter T, and yes, we have a tic-tac-toe here. Let me open it. It has it has been downloaded. If I open it, it will be opened to my VS Code because I have installed VS Code. I'm not going into what's VS Code, how is it showing this. I'm just telling you, I'm just telling you, if I'm given a GitHub link of a project, how do we download it using Git? Now, you give me some like 5-10 minutes time. I'll tell you what exactly we do with GitHub. I was just telling you how do we use Git, actually. How do we download using Git? Because, okay, I'll just tell you few more references. Just hold on. Coming back to here. Okay, so this is the cheat sheet. I gave you the link. You can download this cheat sheet or view it on the web anytime. All right, coming back. Yep, coming back to here. Now, yes, it's glossary time. What's repository? So, repository, as I told you, it's kind of a project file that we use. Okay, don't go into much details, if and buts. I'm just telling you this is a repository. Now, time to explore what's GitHub. First, I'll explain you what's GitHub. I'll explain git clone very again, and the entire config, everything, every config command. But what's GitHub? Now come to what's GitHub. I told you everything about Git. Okay, what's Git? I told you Git is essentially, this is how Git looks. I told you how Git looks. How do we operate it? We operate it using the Git commands, Git add, Git commit, right? And this is how we control versions, and it's a version control system for tracking the changes. We track changes, we download it in the local file, everything. Yes. And we have git commands. These are some of the git commands, actual git commands that exist, with every explanation I gave you in the chat section. And yeah, again, this is the cheat sheet. You can scan it again. Don't forget to take the screenshot in case you would like to have a copy of any of the slides right now. Coming towards GitHub, we did a revision again. Coming towards GitHub, in case you have any confusion, now we will come up to what's the difference between Git and GitHub. So yeah, here, don't worry, I'll tell you everything, every explanation. And my slides might look weird, but it's actually not explaining everything. Now, what's GitHub? So Git and GitHub has no relation. Like Git is Git is a short word, so it's a part of GitHub. No, GitHub is extremely independent thing. We relate it somehow. All right, we relate it, but they are two different things. Two different things. We use one of them to take help from the other. That's it. I'll explain you. GitHub is globally recognized as most advanced and reliable development platform where millions of companies and developers build and maintain their softwares individually or otherwise. Okay, I don't understand what's GitHub. I understand what's Amazon Prime. This is Amazon Prime, okay? These are some Indian genres. So we have Amazon Prime, but this is on Google. I'm using Google browser, all right? But I also have Prime Video for my laptop. Yes, not going much into it. We have GitHub. We have GitHub. This is exactly what GitHub is. But we also have GitHub Desktop. You simply just go in here and download it for your desktop. Just like Amazon Prime Video, we have a version. We can see every movie, right? We can download every movie, but we also have a desktop version, right? An app. The similar way we have GitHub, right? Clear? Now, what exactly it is? Okay, so GitHub is a place where we store our projects. I'll show you how do I store my projects. So this is my GitHub profile, right? And yes, these are my repositories. This is my private repository that I'm working on right now. This is an open source repository. This is another repository I made for another session. And yes, now why am I using repository instead of project? Just consider both are the same words. So this is my, first project. This is my second project. This is my third project. Equals, this is my first repository. This is my second repository. This is my third repository. All right. Now, oh, I'm sorry. Yup. This is Instagram. All right. This is Instagram. You can see this is Instagram. Why do we use Instagram? We use Instagram to store pictures and videos, to make memories, right? To add captions, to add everything. Why do we use GitHub? I'm so sorry. Why do we use GitHub? To store our projects, right? So it's basically a very professional Instagram that we use it, right? Now you all must be thinking, once I gave you an example of Amazon Prime, now I'm giving you an example of Instagram. What's happening? I'll tell you, just have patience. GitHub is globally recognized as most advanced, reliable development platform. So if I'm working on my project, I'll upload it to GitHub so that people can see it. All right, people can have a view on it. People can collaborate with it. Just like on Instagram Reels, if I want to collaborate in some Reels, we can. If I want to make a reaction video of any existing reel to remix it, we can, right? I hope you all would have used Instagram a lot. I do actually. So we basically maintain our projects. We can edit. Okay, for here we can make changes to our project. We cannot make changes to the post that we did on Instagram, but we can make changes to the project. I am actually making a lot of changes to my project daily. So this is, I'm editing my resume website, and yeah, okay, this is how it looks right now. It's a pretty simple website for now, but I'm making changes. I first made the home page, then I added the social icons, and I'm continuously, so with this you can see I'm continuously making changes. So there was no activity because I did not make this project. I initiated it, and that's how it's going. So this is the difference, that on Instagram you cannot change your post, you cannot edit your video that you already uploaded, but on GitHub you can anytime change your project, change the name of your project as well. So can only I make changes? No, there are organizations that actually build their entire software, their entire company on GitHub. For example, I'm sitting here, some of you are sitting there. There's a person who's sitting in maybe Sri Lanka, or someone in China, or someone in US. So we 5 6 people are having a team, and we're making a software. So we can use GitHub to do so. All right, we can do GitHub to do so. Now, this platform is for working, maintaining, and tracking one's public or private repository that offers a cloud based repository. Now, this is the same that we learned in Git, right? That it also tracks and maintains. But here the difference is we actually, just a sec, yes, we actually track changes, right? We track the changes. You can see here I wrote this track the changes, and in here I wrote track changes again. But there's one difference. You wouldn't see Git in the browser. You can see GitHub in the browser. This is GitHub. I can operate GitHub in browser. I i can also download this, but I did not have downloaded GitHub in my browser. I do not have a GitHub. See? This is not a GitHub. It's a search, result. It's a search result. I do not have GitHub here. I don't have, right? But I can still use GitHub. But on the other hand, I cannot use Git from the browser. All right? I cannot use Git from the browser. I will have to download Git. There's no way you can use Git from the browser. But why is it important? Okay, I'll tell you. For example, I am setting up an email. All of you must be using email for sure, for sure. So, in case I am writing an email and I'm saving it as a draft, I did not send the email. The email will be noted as a draft. Now, I have a question. Whenever you log in from your phone, when I open Gmail on my phone, will I see the draft message? Yes. But how? I use my laptop to do so. I can also see all the emails that I received and sent on my phone as well as on my laptop. How is that happening? Well, the answer is it's a cloud based system. What's cloud? Cloud is a cloud. Now, why are we relating those cloud with this thing, with computer science? Well, basically we took an example that whatever cloud is something that's situated up above in the sky, and everyone can see it, everyone. So that, just like you can see the moon right now, right? You can see the moon. Even I can see the moon right now. So this is exactly how it happens. So to the sky, everyone can access from any location. This is what I want to say. So if my location is phone, I can check any Gmail updates from my phone. If I do not have my phone, or even if I have, and if I want to check my Gmail updates from my laptop, I can do so from any location, from anywhere. And this is called cloud computing, and this is called cloud. So the main difference in Git and GitHub is a cloud system, but Git is a local system. Git is a short word, so it's a local system which actually operates on your computer, your personal computers, your laptops. All right, but GitHub can operate on your laptop as well. We also have a GitHub application, an iOS application and an Android application as well. I can use GitHub from my phone as well, but I cannot use Git from my phone. GitHub could be used, but Git, no. We do not have an option to download Git on Android, right? We don't have on iOS, we don't have, but we only have it for computers. This is the difference. I hope I made myself clear. I'm being very, very repetitive, but yes, so this is the difference. And coming up with more difference, I'll tell you now another analogy why this Instagram example comes up every time, because it's easy for me to explain you. I know I have been there at your place where a guest speaker would come up and explain what's Git and GitHub, but I still couldn't get it after so many sessions. But I'm trying my level best to explain you that Instagram is a social media platform, but open source or GitHub is a social coding platform. So right now I'm open source is could be taken as Git and GitHub thing. So I'm putting Git and GitHub as a whole bundle and I'm calling it open source. Open source actually has a meaning, but for now I'm just telling you that open source is a coding platform. It's a social coding platform. People socially use it, accept it, collaborate it, and that's how it goes, just like Instagram. So Instagram, again, you share a post using videos and pictures on GitHub and Git, that is open source. You share a repository instead of post, with using code, designs, resources, documentations, and stuff. Now another one, Instagram. Whenever you double tap, you actually like someone's post. It's a heart, right? In open source or Git and GitHub, we have a star. Let me just show you. Give me a sec. This is a star. I hope you can see. Uh, you can see a star at every repository. So I put a star, I have starred it. That means I liked it. Similar to what we do in here. I opened this post and I did like. And I opened this repository and I did a like. Oh, I unliked it, but yeah, I did a like again. So this is exactly what I'm saying. Again, open source means you can comment on someone's Instagram post, but can we comment on someone's like GitHub? Yes, we can. So these are the comments. I'll post my own comment. Wow. Okay, cool. I hope they do not have a problem with it. With this one, we can have a comment as well. So where do we put comment? Even I don't know. Just give me a sec. Come on, let's comment on index.html. So where do we have a comment? I cannot find it. I'm so sorry. Uh, 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 uh. We have a comment. I did add some comments. I cannot find where. Okay, but we do. We do. I'll tell you. I can't find the comment. Okay, we have a comment in pull request. We do have whenever we open a new pull request, we add it. We don't have a pull request right now, but I'll tell you the comment thing in pull request while we'll be doing a pull request. Okay, so this is how commenting works. So this is a basic example that open source and social media platform is having so much in common. Like Git and GitHub is having so much in common with Instagram, right? I told you. And again, so coming up now, before we move on, again, I am coming up to GitHub and I'm telling you what an interface of GitHub looks like. Um, so you can see this picture right here. So this is my profile. It says my profile, my account, my repositories. Just like on Instagram, you have your post, you have repositories here. Ignore your projects. It's nothing. Ignore Copilot as well. Copilot is a very big thing, which helps you. I'll tell you at the last. Your stars, how many stars you've received. If you've been sponsored for something or you got sponsorship, and then we have documentation, support, community, sign out. So this is, I can even go to my profile, I can change my profile picture whatever it suits me. Oh, okay, we also have an avatar here. So yeah, we have a custom username here. So just in case anyone would like to connect with me uh, and would like to check out the profile, okay, would like to check out the profile, it's here. So here we add your bio. I did not add much. I added my college and it's my website, and then it's my hash node, and then it's my YouTube. I added all my links. Now, these are some achievements. If I made many, okay, so this is a graph which shows how many pull requests I made, how many issues I made and solved. The code reviews are no, I did not make any code reviews, but I made 86 commits. I'm so sorry, slip of tongue. So by unlocking the amount of commits and pull requests and issues, you can simultaneously unlock some achievements. So it's kind of a cherry on top of your profile. It actually doesn't matter much. And you can see how much active you've been in 2023, 2024. I wouldn't open because I've been pretty inconsistent. So these are the edits, but you wouldn't see because I made it in my personal repositories, so you wouldn't see the entire edit thing because I'm working on some private repositories. two of them are private. So yeah, so you can have a private repository as well as a public repository. It's dependent on you. Just like you archive your Instagram post, but you can unarchive it anytime, or you can pin any of your things. You can also have a good bio. I did not have a good bio. I did not add any bio right now. So you just update a readme, and there you go. In case you want to search someone, I want to search someone, like I want to search Parag. So Parag is one of my friends. Oh, sorry. I'll just go to home. Okay, there's a home page, pull request, projects, everything. So I want to search someone. I can search Eddie Hub community. It's a community. You all should join. It's a free of cost community which tells you everything about open source, Git, GitHub, everything. So Eddie is a person who's an organizer of Google Developers Group London, and he's also a GitHub star. This is Eddie's profile, and yeah, Eddie and I have been talking on Twitter, and he told me a lot about GitHub, about open source, and this is his profile. Now, this green graph is the tiles that you see is basically, it tells you how many contributions you made in each day. Now, this is October 29th, and there were no contributions, but October 30th, Eddie made 16 contributions. And there you go. Every day we have, every contribution. Now, just in case, I would like to have a look on how much active Eddie was in 2023. We have this. We even have streaks, just like Snapchat streak. We have, GitHub streak. How much have we, added in? So you can see this graph as well. It changes with the year. Every year has its own graph, and this graph actually tells you the distribution of commits, pull request, issues, and everything. So it's basically just a reflection of your profile on GitHub. How much have you contributed? And this is a readme which he put up as a bio, and you can update your readme as well. So this is how a GitHub profile actually looks. This is how GitHub looks. I told you how Git looks. Now this is how GitHub looks. I want to go to repositories that Eddie has. Eddie actually has 266 repositories right now currently. Now this is the bio that we can see. These are the websites that he has. He has 8K following, like pretty good number. These are the achievements he has unlocked. I have nothing in front of him. The organizations, he's a GitHub star, and yes. So if I want to star his repository, there I go. I just put a star to his, repositories, and then I can open any project. Like just like I open an Instagram post in order to see, right? Uh, consider we have this post, all right, by Microsoft Live, and there are pretty much amount of pictures added in there. I move to the second picture, third picture, fourth picture, and for this I open someone's profile and go to the post in order to read every comment, every caption, every hashtag, what was the post about, how many likes did it got, right? For the same thing, I open the repository. So this is Eddie's profile. I go to his repository. I just click in here. The way I open the Instagram thing, the same way I'm opening this. And instead of looking for, instead of sliding the pictures and checking the comments and hashtags and everything, I'm checking these files. This is a README file. README is basically a documentation, a description. All right, README equals to description. So README tells you everything about the project. So in README, you basically write the entire description of your project, that this is my personal project or this is my company project or something. So these are some tags. We have hashtags. These are the hashtags we have, right? Just a sec. Yeah. These are the hashtags, hashtag diversity and inclusion and everything. Here we have the hashtags. We don't call it a hashtag, we call it a tag, as Hacktoberfest, GitHub, GitHub profiles, and everything. So I pretty much told you everything. If I want to download, and so this is a project that Eddie made, right? Now I want to download this. I can simply go on download zip file, and with the zip file you need to extract that and so on. But being a developer, you can do this, but you also should know how to make use of the URL. Now this is the URL of, for example, how do we get a URL of an Instagram profile? How do we do it? So we basically go in here, we do copy link, right? Or we basically share to, and then we just copy link or show the QR code, right? In here we need to click on this green button that says code, and it gives you some options that you need to download the entire zip file. So consider I'm downloading it. I just clicked on it. See, it's downloaded. Now if I open this, this is Eddie's file, right? Just now in front of you I downloaded this. And this is the Eddie's file that I downloaded. Now you can see all the files that I have in here. We have a GitHub folder, we have the same here. We have a gitignore, we have a gitignore here. Gitpod, we have a gitpod here. Code of conduct, entire file we have in here. If I open the readme, this is the readme, all right? But if I open the readme, the code will be shown like this, okay? This is an IDE. This is VS Code. What's an IDE? IDE is a platform which tells you how to write a code. Okay, don't get into much into it, but yes. So this is entirely like Instagram, and you, the first time you ever, you know, installed Instagram in your life, the first time ever you did, you were never confident, right? You were pretty much into, I shouldn't post anything weird or something. You were very vigilant about it. Similarly, the first experience with GitHub will be the same, but I bet you if you use it for like, I think 1 week or something, it's a very simple thing. A very simple thing. But now I would like to tell you about how do we actually see. Uh, Now I told you everything. Where's profile? How do we put projects? Now I'm going to tell you some basic terminologies of GitHub. I told you everything. Where can we have the profile? Where can we search? Where can we have the home screen? This is the home and everything. Now, this is watch. Now, what's watch? It basically tells you how many people are mentioned in here and which people have which. Everything is in watch, that how many people are mentioned with @ sign tagged in here. All right. What's fork? Fork is something that's not a utensil one. What's star? Star, I told you already, it's a like button. So in this post, um, it doesn't show how many likes we have, but in here we have 189 likes. So 189 people starred it, including me. So if I unstar it, it's 188. So it tells you how many people have liked this repository. Now, what's pull request? What's issues? And what's this? Branches, tags. So I told you about tags, but what's branches? I'll tell you just a sec. Now, coming back in here to understand, this is the second last part. I wouldn't take much of your time. I would take you to just after explaining these 3 4 terms, I'll take you to a quick you know a 5 10 minutes more, you know uh, a workshop thing, the main workshop. But I need to explain you everything so that you could confidently have a foot on the workshop. Now, what's fork? We just now saw this, right? It says fork. And after fork, it says 261. But after start, it says 189. That means 189 people start this repository made by Eddie, all right, and 261 people forked this repository. Now, what does fork mean? If I fork a repository, what does it mean? Okay, so consider you have your aunt's recipe, all right? You are moving to the hostels and you're moving on your own, and you finally have your mother's or your aunt's recipe book. I know it's not even valid in this time we have internet, but just consider an example. Now you have a recipe to make maybe pasta, right? Pasta, you have a recipe to make a pasta, but now you would love to add your own ingredients. Okay, you have a whole recipe: do this, boil this, add this, right? Add salt only after this. You have your entire recipe, right? You entire code of conduct, you can say, or how do you make a pasta, for example. But I would like to add some other ingredients, for example, and I would like to add some other vegetables. All right. So I make my own changes into it. So this is exactly what fork is. Eddie's repository. I want to have his project, and I downloaded his project. But now I want some custom changes to this project. I don't want this project entirely. I want to make some custom edits according to me. I want to make my own edits, but in this profile, in this project. So I download this project. All right. So you either download it and do it in your local system, or in the best way, in a developer's way, how developers do it, we essentially fork this. So consider I fork this. I'm forking it, create a new fork. All right. So this means Eddie has already given me a recipe of codes to make maybe a website, a recipe to make a website. But I want some other ingredients. I want to add a navigation bar, a fixed navigation bar. To my website, it shouldn't scroll, it should be fixed all the time. So I will just fork his repository. Now, forking means to make my own copy, to do a photocopy. To do a photocopy. This means to do a Xerox. All right, to make a Xerox, and then I will create a fork. Create fork. I'll just click on it. It's forking.
Kushi, just very quickly, I'm so sorry to interrupt you because it's really wonderful so far. Just in half an hour, the call would end, and we
Okay.
just want like 5-10 minutes at the end for the questions. So I don't know how much time you need for the interactive part, or yes,
Yeah, I was about to ask how much
yeah,
time.
yes. I'm very sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to let you know that.
No
So
worries. Thank you so much.
everything that can fit in the time.
Sure, sure. I will just have a look on. I barely have three, four more things to explain. Then we'll move to this. Okay. So yeah, thank you for telling me. So I have forked this. The branch is up to date, and it shows forked from Eddie Jore's. Okay, Eddie's full name is Eddie Jore. So this tells that I have forked his repository. Now, any change that I make will not affect the original recipe, the original repository, what Eddie has. This is my own copy. This is my own copy that I have. It will be shown in my profile. Just see. Yes, my repository count has changed to 16 now. So this is added to my profile. And the name of the repository was Eddie itself. So it's showing this way. I have the entire thing, but I have forked it, right? This means to fork it. Now, why is it showing zero, stars zero? Because this is my own copy. That was Eddie's original copy. But this is my own copy. And there are zero watches, zero forks, zero stars because I just now made it. Now, whatever change I do, it wouldn't actually affect the original repository. Let me show you just one thing. Okay, at the first line, I do enter 10 times and I add my name, Khushi Trivedi. I enter, I just save the changes. Yeah, this is it. This has been shown. Now I go to Eddie's actual repository where it was. It does not even have a change. Can you all see this? I'll show you again. There's not even one change in his repository. But this is my repository. I open it from my. It says Khushi Trivedi before the image, but in Eddie's profile, it shows nothing. So this is what fork means. It means having your own copy, having your own copy of it. So I'm just giving you an example with the recipe book. Now, understanding commit. I told you a lot, commit. Okay, you know what's commit. Of course, everyone know what's commit. But in open source, it's kind of a double check. All right. So basically, let's understand, all of us are working on a puzzle. We all are making a puzzle, and I am adding my own piece to the puzzle. It's the same like we all are working on a project and I'm adding my code. Till now I was working on the search bar. I was editing the search bar of the website, for example, and you were making the landing page, or someone else was working on the filters, and someone else was working on something else, background. So just to commit means to add my piece of puzzle on the actual puzzle that we are working on. This is exactly what commit means. It's nothing more. Commit is just, are you sure? Are you sure? It's that. It's just a word that commit, but you will get to know whenever you'll use it very often. It's that simple. And now pull request. So pull request. Okay, so in GitHub, in GitHub, we do not use save or save as. Instead, we use commit. All right. It's that simple. Now, pull request. So, pull request, consider we're writing a book, right? We're all working on a book. Now we're into literature. We know more software developers. We're into literature and we all are finally writing a book. I'm writing the first chapter. Someone else is writing the second chapter. You are writing the third chapter. And that's how it goes. Now, before finally assembling the chapters, I'm working on my first chapter. You are doing your second, third. Now finally the book is complete. We all wrote our own chapters. What we'll do is just see in here. Each team member writes their own chapter, all right? And now it's my time. It's my time that I share my copy with you. You share your copy with someone else. That person shares with me. We just exchange it. We just jumble it. Oh, just have a look at my thing. And you just have a read of what I wrote. What grammatical mistakes or what feel does it give? And you just cross check if I wrote it correct or there's a thing or not. If you approve it, I get a validation. Okay, my chapter is complete. Okay, their chapter is complete, and this is how it goes. So this is pull request. We basically just give a question mark. Can we finally merge it? We just ask the second person, can you finally check this? And that's how it goes. Now I'll show you. All of you just pay attention. Now I'll show you. This is the last part. This is the final part. um okay, what should I name this repository? um what should I name this? Okay, git ninja. I'll name this repository as git ninja, git dash ninja. I'll add the description later on. So I will this is how I'm creating a new repository, all right, in front of you all. It's a public repository so that everyone can have a view on it. I'll add a readme. Readme is just a description file. It's like caption of your Instagram post. So README is the caption of my repository. But besides, README can actually include links. It can include pictures and stuff. I create my own repository. That's how we do. It's that simple. It's that simple. Now, what I'll do is I'll add a branch. I'll just do new branch. Okay. So just give me a second. I'll start sharing my screen again. Yep. This one. I hope that's visible. Cool. And I want all of you to please open your GitHub right now. We actually have a short of time, and yeah, we took too much time in uh, explanations. Uh, 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 yeah, just wrapping up. What you need to do is open this repository. I'll copy the link. Okay, here is the link in the chat section. Just go to this link. Just go to this link. Every one of you, I'll write a README. Okay, so this is the README that I'm writing. And here you can find commit changes instead of saving. Now I commit the changes. This is the commit changes. As soon as you go to the profile, you will see this updated. And just have a read. This tells you what you need to do actually. This tell you and follow the steps. And the steps that I'm making you follow is just give a sec more. All right. So I'll add a new file, create a new file, and I'll commit the changes. Okay, it's loading. It takes time. Add a new file. We can upload any file as well. I just paste it here. I'll put my file name as name.html, and then I commit my changes. We commit changes. We do not save, we commit. Now, as soon as you go to this, what you need to do is we are all making our own first pull request on this repository. So what you need to do is fork this repository as I forked it. All right. First step is fork the repository. Now create a new branch. Now what I'm going to do is again, just give me a sec more. I'll share my entire screen again. Okay. So now just follow along and you will end up doing a really, cool thing. So yeah, a girly geek. This might sound cringe, but this is my another GitHub profile. And what I'll do is I'll go to the link that I told you. This is the link, Ninja. This is the link. What you all need to do, go on fork, click on here, create fork. That's it. You made a fork, you fork this repository. It's just two-way thing. You need to go here, fork it, and then come back. Don't fork that again. If you've made your own copy, don't fork that again. All right? Don't fork that again. Now the second step, you can read here itself. Create a new branch. How do we create a new branch? Go here, you can see main, view all branches, and then new branch. Every new button is with this name. Now, sorry, with the new branch, you need to make a new branch of your name. My name is Kushi, right? I'm entering this name. I create a new branch. It's that simple. Second step, done. All right. Second step is done. What's the third step? In the folder, where in the folder index.html, okay, I did it name.html. You will find, okay, just go to this branch. Just now I made a branch. I did not exit from the page. Go to your own name branch. I'll go on Kushi. That's my branch. So now I have two branches, the main branch and then Kushi. You will have the main branch and the branch of your own name, right? The first name, just the first name. Whatever details I have, you need to edit this. So go to name.html. Just go there, click on edit this file, all right? And wherever you find your name, just write your name. This is Kushi Trivedi, correct? Again, your name, I'll do Kushi Trivedi. City name, well, you must never have heard my city, but I live in Bhopal. Designation, I'll just put final year student. Cool. And you can write a small reason here, or you can, I'll just skip it. Now here, GitHub profile URL. So I will put my GitHub profile. I will edit this URL as https github.com/ this is my GitHub username. Cool. And I'm on Twitter with this username. I'm done with all the changes. Cool. Finally, I'll go commit, updated name.html, commit the changes. You've done it. You've made the changes. Now go back to the repository again, your repository. Go to pull request. And there you have. You just made a change. You just copied my repository, my project. You made your own copy. You made whatever changes according to you. You added your name, you added your uh, Twitter, you added your GitHub account, your GitHub link. You did your own way. You added your own ingredients. And now you want me to, have a check if I did it correct or not. For that, you do a pull request. If it's a good one, it will, okay. And here is what you write in the comments. Here is the description. And after you do it, okay, updated my name. This is optional. Now I click on create pull request and it's done. If it has no conflicts, it will be merged again. Now this is a comment section here. I'll just put a hey. You should not do it. Developers don't put hey and hello, but I'll do it and I'll comment it. So this is the comment section I was talking about before, which I couldn't find, but I just did a comment. So this is a hey, and it tells everything. So let me just have a look at my project. How many people forked it? Yep, 3 people till now forked it. Wow, that's nice. All right, and I got my own pull request. Just now what I did with my thing. So this is how you create your own pull request. Now I am actual person who's dealing with, uh, you know, who's sending the pull request and who's not, I can actually merge the pull request, but I wouldn't do it right now because it's again a complex thing. You first check the code if it's correct or not. You check the compatibility, you test the code. So that's how you create your first pull request. That's exactly how you do. In case you're having any doubts or anything, I'll be up to answer it. But I think I left some time. We were short of time.
It seems that we don't have any questions, but I just want to let you know that if you come up with any questions after the session, maybe you can send it to us, or we can send it to maybe Kushi and discuss it together and send an answer if you have anything. But I think it was a very great session. I'm sure that I understand it much more than before. So thank you for that. And if anyone has a question, just feel free to unmute yourself or write the chat.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Kushi, for the presentation. It was really nice.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah.
I, made my, I took my best time to explain you all everything. Just in case you all, just a second, just in case you got any doubts further on, or you would like to, you would like me to explain everything again, so you can contact me. I'll just share my LinkedIn. I wouldn't share much, but oh, I shared the wrong link, I think. Here's my LinkedIn. Just in case you got any doubts, anything, you can just approach me, and I'll be really, really happy to help you all in any way ahead. And it was really